Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome. I'm so glad you are here with me today to move with me, to breathe with me, and in community. We are going to need a few things for our movement today. A couple blocks if you have them, one or two would be helpful, and or a pillow that is on a little bit of a thicker side if you have it. You could also use a blanket that's going to be nice and rolled up and provide some support for us as we get to moving. We are going to start laying down on our backs. I recommend being on the floor or on a yoga mat for this, and we're just going to lay down flat. As we lay, we can decide whether or not we would like our legs to be outstretched long, or if our low back is at all sensitive, I recommend having the feet on the earth with the knees to the sky, and the feet can be a little bit wider than our hips, and the knees can knock in and touch one another like you're making a little tent with your knees. That way your low back and pelvis feel supported, and you can easily rest the stomach and relax into it. Taking a moment to settle in. If your legs are extended long and you'd like to place this bolster underneath your knees, so whatever your bolster is, that could be your pillow, your blocks, your blanket. If you'd like to place your support prop underneath your knees and give a natural bend, a natural curve, and rest into that, that is an option as well. Taking a few breaths to settle in. If you need a little rock of the hips or shimmy of the side waist, shimmy of the shoulders, maybe a wiggle of the jaw or looking from left to right, whatever helps you settle into your space. Maybe palms are extended out to the sides. Maybe one hand comes atop the heart, one on the low belly, and we're just going to find our breath here together, starting to inhale through our nose, and as we inhale, expanding our rib cage in all four directions, front, back, side to side, and letting our exhale lengthen out the mouth with a sigh, drawing it out longer than our inhale. Take a few breaths like that. Big inhale, drop it into our torso. Long exhale out the mouth. Slowing down our exhale, taking up space with our breath. Whatever your day has held so far, whatever it holds ahead of us, see if we can just let this moment be inclusive, all on its own, and hold this breath, hold our movements, and be present with the sensations as we breathe in. Feeling the air turn from air to breath, and as we breathe out, let the breath turn back into air. Starting to set your own tempo and your own pace. Our movements today will use our breath. That way we know we are listening to our bodies and moving for ourselves, not for anybody else. So being intentional as we use our breath to settle in. Every inhale, maybe the chest can feel like it expands a little further. Every exhale, maybe the hips and belly can soften and land a little bit more on the support beneath us. With our hand on our belly, maybe it's just one hand, maybe both hands, we'll come into some more intentional belly breathing. So if you would like to stay here and breathe as you were at your own pace and your own rhythm, please feel free. And if you'd like to go into a little bit more of a belly breath, we'll just join together. We're going to take an inhale for 4 and an exhale for 5, just slightly longer exhales than inhales. So if you are ready, letting all your air out on your next exhale. And together we will inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for a beat at the top, and then exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, drop of air out at the bottom, we inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for a beat and exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Every drop of air out, we inhale 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time if you'd like. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top and exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A few natural breaths here, in through the nose. Let it go out the nose or mouth. A few breaths like that, just resetting. Natural tempo, something you don't have to think about. Maybe sighing out the exhale, making it a little audible. And then recommitting to our breath, maybe in and out through the nose this time, just at a casual pace that you feel like you can stick with and hold on to as we start to move. Stay here longer if you'd like. And if you're ready to add some movement, we're going to extend our legs out long if that feels okay. If you prefer to keep them bent, that's fine. And we're going to reach our arms up overhead. So that might mean reaching straight up towards the sky or in the direction of above your head. But if you're laying on a bed or you have a wall there and you can't extend all the way, we're just going to reach as far as we can above us. Once we find that rotation of the shoulders, we're going to reach for either the opposite wrists, so you're making contact with the opposite arm. It might be fingertips or wrists. If we can work our way down the forearms and eventually get to holding on to opposite elbows, that's a great place. We're going to work on opening up our chest, rolling our shoulders down our back so that our shoulder blades are underneath our heart space and our heart space feels lifted and supported. So wherever we find that connection with our hands, whether it's our elbows, forearms, wrists, or fingertips, we're just reaching the arms open and away from our head. And then we're going to gently just lean the torso over to the right side, getting a nice side stretch in our left side body. Finding a breath here, letting the ribcage expand, aiding to that stretch underneath the left armpit. We inhale. Soften on our exhale, making any adjustments you need in the arms. Maybe it's just fingertips feels better. Wherever you feel like you can get length and open up across the chest. We inhale into the left side body. Let our exhale go. If we can have the arms fully supported above us by either the earth or maybe a pillow underneath those arms, that's great. We want to be able to feel like we're resting and opening. One more full breath here in through the nose. And let the exhale go. Our next inhale brings us back to center. And let's bring our hands back down to our heart, one on top of the other. Let the shoulders find neutral. Find a breath here to reset. When you're ready, we'll just circle the arms back up overhead. Find wherever you'd like to meet the hands again, fingertips, wrists, or elbows. We lengthen up out of the chest, and then the arms just gently tilt the torso over to the left side, finding that space in the right side body. Let the breath expand the stretch even deeper underneath the right armpit. We'll inhale here. Soften on our exhale. Our inhales help us expand and find the expression of our shape. Our exhales allow us to settle in a little deeper. 2 more breaths here, your own pace. Next exhale goes out the mouth. And an inhale brings us back to center. Neutral spine, bring the hands on top of the heart. Take a moment, take a few breaths here. If you need any wiggles in the shoulders, some shoulder rolls, or a shimmy of the heart space side to side, please take it. Letting the exhales go, maybe an audible exhale to really clear out any energy as we open up our hearts. Then to counteract that big opening, we're going to hug our knees into our chest. So as we, one at a time, bring our knees up to center. Maybe our hands hold onto the thighs behind the knees, maybe the shins below the knees, or if it feels available to us, we might be able to wrap our hands around our shins and really hug the knees in tight to our chest. So you decide where that feels nice. The legs can be right next to each other, or maybe try crossing the ankles one over the other with flexed feet, so you're really creating this strong boundary that you feel held and contained in. And then find a breath here, feeling that connection again with your full body, focusing inward. Maybe it feels nice to find a gentle rock side to side, massaging out the low back. The knees can be as far away from the face as feels good. The further the knees are away, the lower that massage and that stretch is going to feel in the low back. The closer they are to your chest, the more you're going to move that massage to the middle and upper back. So maybe the sway side to side can just feel a little rhythmic. And if it feels nice, maybe we start to just paint some circles on the ceiling with our knees as they start to go round and round, just getting that massage to go a little lower towards the hips and a little higher towards the middle of the back. Finding an inhale and letting our exhale go. If we have decided to take these circles, let's switch directions, get our circles going the opposite way. And naturally, organically coming back to stillness, letting our feet come back down to earth, and taking a few rounds of breath, just noticing that support of our back body, the earth beneath us, and checking in with our jaw tension. Can we find a little space between our top teeth and our bottom teeth? Can our tongue fall away from the roof of our mouth? Maybe a little wiggle of the hips, maybe looking from left to right. We'll stay here for 3 breaths, just laying down before we sit up. You may stay here longer if you'd like, and if you're ready to join me in some neck rotations, we're going to come to a comfortable seat. And so that can be on the earth, it could be on that blanket, block, or pillow. Whatever makes us feel like we can sit up nice and tall. If we are sitting on a prop, we can just move the flesh out from underneath our bum so we feel really rooted. Our low back gets its natural curve that it likes. Our shoulder blades can just gently, softly lift up our heart space. We have a proud chest forward. And then let the shoulders relax away from our earlobes. Create a long space in the neck, reaching the crown of the head up high towards the sky. Breathing in to that extension, that expansion that we're creating. Let the hands rest softly down. Maybe it feels good to just gently draw our chin back in space, maybe a ½ an inch, maybe an inch, so that the roof of our mouth feels stacked over our pelvis, and we really feel like we have a support in our hips. It's just the building blocks as we sit all the way up tall. Letting the spinal alignment just sink in and settle in as a posture of its own, a muscle memory for proper alignment that we get to rest into. Remembering that alignment is always just a direction that we are going. We are never there. We never get to check that box. It's always just something we're working towards, and it's going to look and feel different every day. 2 more breaths here. Making adjustments as we need, maybe rocking from side to side. Maybe a big full breath. Let go of the exhale. Option to stay here, or if you're ready, we'll just move into some gentle neck rotations. So keeping the shoulders soft, rolling the shoulder blades down the back. We'll gently lead with our chin and gaze over our left shoulder. Our inhale is going to gently bring our gaze back forward. And the gaze can be soft. If it's comfortable, maybe even the eyes closed. Exhale takes the gaze over the right shoulder, leading with our chin, keeping the crown of the head tall. Inhale back to center, moving with your own pace, coming back to that rhythm you chose for yourself. Exhale to the left. Inhale to center. This can be such a small movement, or it can feel really open and expansive. Over to the right, start to move with your own breath. Inhale, we neutralize the spine. Exhale, we find our rotation and our opening. Keeping some space in the jaw, keeping the tongue loose, just floating in the mouth. Evening out on both sides, whatever that means for you. And we'll meet with a neutral stance, gazing forward, maybe a few shoulder rolls backwards or forwards if that feels nice. And then we're going to change this rotation of the neck, going up and down. So first, keeping that tall spine, we're going to tuck our chin into our chest, but rather at the chin reaching down to meet our chest, almost like we're trying to get it to our collarbones. Our goal here is to find a lengthening in the back of the neck, not really getting in to a lengthening of our upper back. So keeping our heart open, keeping our shoulders back, our collarbones wide, and tucking the chin, gazing down towards our seat. And then on our inhale, coming back to a neutral gaze forward. Again, stacking the roof of the mouth over our seat so we feel tall and elevated. And then when you're ready, we'll slowly do the opposite motion, looking up, lifting our chin up, opening our throat, opening that throat chakra, breathing in as we lift, and then coming back down to center. So we will start to move through that motion, tucking the chin, lengthening the back of the neck, lifting the chin, opening up the front of the throat. And so as we lift the chin and open up the throat, you can decide a couple options. Maybe your jaw stays neutral and we just start to lift the jaw, get that stretch, that opening, that expansion. Or maybe we might like to jet our bottom jaw out in front of our top jaw and get a little deeper stretch. So maybe we give that a try. Let's tuck our chin first into our chest as we exhale. Inhale back to neutral. Exhale, lift the chin, open up the throat, maybe jetting the bottom jaw out in front of the top, a little extra length. And gently back down to center. Tucking the chin into the collarbones. Move with your own breath. Inhale back to neutral gaze. Exhale, lift the chin, open up the front of the throat. Might feel a little silly, that's okay. Neutralize the gaze, move with your own breath. Keep moving through that. Another option is if you want to add a little bit of a lion's breath and stick out the tongue as you lift the chin up and really open up that throat even more. You decide what feels like a comfortable intensity and what feels too much. So let's tuck our chin into our collarbones. Come back to neutral. Lift the chin, either jet out the bottom jaw, stay neutral, or stick out the tongue. Come back to center. Move with your own breath through this motion. Few rounds here, taking the full inhale and the full exhale to get where we're going. If your neck ever needs a break, you can just come back to neutral and take a resting breath. Move with your own pace, really slow, intentional movements, really imagining us just creating space in the back of the neck and the front of the throat. And as we start to create this rhythm, check in with the jaw. Is it starting to get tense? Can we create a little space from the top teeth and the bottom teeth? Can we keep the shoulders rolling back and keeping our heart space reaching forward? 2 more rounds of breath here, however you feel like you need to feel even on both sides. And then we will come back to a neutral gaze forward and take a few breaths to reset. So maybe a wiggle of the jaw side to side. Again, maybe some shoulder rolls or a wiggle of the waist and torso. Maybe the eyes like to soften, inhaling through the nose and letting our exhale go. After that space we've created, we just want to give ourselves a little secure boundary, give our nervous system a little bit of a hug inward. And so we're going to come to a seat. If you're on a blanket or pillow or bolster, that's perfect. This time, rather than an open, easy seat, we're going to come with our feet on the earth, knees to the sky. Again, you can have your feet side by side next to one another, or if you want an even bigger hug inward, you can cross the ankles. And then we're just going to let our forehead go towards the direction of our knees as we wrap our arms around ourselves. And just trying to give ourselves as tight of a hug as we can. Get that lengthening from the low back to the crown of the head. Feeling our breath expand against our thighs. And let the head just hang heavy. Maybe it's supported by the knees, maybe just supported in space. Taking any movements, maybe a little rock side to side. A few breaths here, just feeling that safe container we're creating for ourselves. Exhales can go out the nose or the mouth, whatever feels good. Bringing that focus completely inward. No goal to this shape whatsoever, all about how it feels inside of our bodies. You may stay here longer. If you're ready, we're just going to slowly lift our gaze, come back to an easy seat, which might mean feet on the ground, knees to the sky, or maybe it's more of a crisscross. And as we sit up tall again, refinding that spinal alignment that feels comfortable and supportive and stacked in our bodies. Taking a breath when we get there to settle in. And then we're just going to find a different motion with our neck, coming into a figure 8. So hands can rest down, maybe on the lap or one on each thigh. And with this figure 8, it's going to be a big neck circle. But it might feel like you're drawing that figure 8 with your nose, like if there was a paintbrush on the end of your nose and a big piece of paper in front of you. You're just trying to paint a big figure 8, getting that head to go in a full circle around. And this can be a very tiny circle with a small 8, or it can be a big circle with a big 8. You decide what feels good. Really taking your time, feel all those little nooks and crannies as we work our way around. And if there's any spots that feel sticky that you want to hang out at and breathe some space into, feel free. Any areas we want to wiggle the jaw around or move the shoulders around as we flow. Checking in with our jaw, keeping a little bit of space and softness. As with our gaze, maybe the gaze is just down. Maybe the eyes might like to close. Gently coming back to a neutral gaze, and then switching the directions of our figure 8, switching the circle. of our head as it moves, starting really slow on this side, starting with a really small rotation. And then as it's comfortable, maybe it expands a little bigger. Maybe that figure 8 we're painting might like to grow. Finding our breath as we move. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling out the nose or mouth. Really taking our time, seeing what really small sensations we can notice on this side that might feel different from the first side, that might like to send a breath or a pause into. And as you feel evened out in this direction, we'll just slowly make our way back to center, back to a neutral gaze. Taking a breath at neutral in through our nose. Let our exhale go. And then we're going to come to that same seat that we created, that little egg shape, with our feet on the earth, the knees to the sky, maybe a cross of the ankles again. And then this time, 2 options. Maybe you might like to stay hugging inward and just curling into that tiny little ball that we did before. Maybe this time you might like to add a little bit of movement and flow with our breath. Maybe you might like to try the latter, and if it doesn't feel good, you can say, nope, I'd rather be in a little ball, and you can take that option instead. So as we sit, feeling really firm in our seat, maybe we need to remove the flesh out from underneath our bums so we feel really grounded in whatever we're supported by. On our inhale, option to open up our arms like wings out to the side, really pulling our heart space forward. Maybe we get a nice lift of the chin, opening up our throats again. And then on our exhale, we can wrap our wings around our legs, let our chin tuck in, let our forehead drop towards the direction of our knees, making that little tiny egg. Inhale, opening up, take up space, spread the heart. Exhale, creating that boundary, hugging yourself in. Inhaling, open up, maybe even spread the fingers as wide as you can to take up as much space as possible. Exhale, hug yourself in and really feel your hug. Maybe you can hug all the way through the fingertips. Feel that strong connection. 2 more times if you'd like it. Inhale, open. Exhale, give it a hug. Last one here, opening up our hearts and hugging it back to center. We'll land in our little egg shape, take 2 full rounds of breath in as tiny of a ball as feels comfortable. And if you want to stay here longer, please feel free. If you'd like to join me in our next movement, we're going to come onto our knees. And so it's going to be sitting on that same block or pillow, but we're going to turn it, and so it's going between our legs. So we have a leg on either side, and we're in what's called a hero's posture. And so if that is uncomfortable for your knees, you can just come to an even higher seat, still sitting in a crisscross or easy seat, but we just want a little bit more space to lift our hips up higher. So if we're able to come to our knees and that's comfortable, we're just going to have those blocks and pillows going between our legs. That way we can sit up nice and tall and have space for our hands by our sides. Taking a moment to come into this shape, take your time. Once we get there, making any adjustments we need. Again, maybe moving the flesh out from underneath our booties, maybe a little shimmy, maybe rock the jaw from side to side or a shoulder roll. Full breath in, sighing it out. We're going to move into a shoulder rotation. We're going to start with our right hand. So our left hand can rest on a thigh if that's comfortable, wherever it feels like it can be supported and relaxed. We're going to start with our right hand off to our side with our pinky facing forward and our palm towards the outside of our seat. So the thumb is going towards the direction of the back of your mat. Opening and rotating that shoulder. Open out to the front, finding a little bit more space across the chest. Once we find that position, we can decide how active we would like the hand to be. Maybe the fingers spread nice and wide, maybe they're a little bit more relaxed and we're just focusing on the rotation. On our inhale, we're just going to slowly rotate the pinky in front of us. We're going to make a big arm circle. And as we go up, the hand's naturally going to want to rotate open, which is perfect. We're rotating it until the thumb is pointing forward, palm outside of our seat, and rotating that arm and shoulder all the way back behind us. Keep rotating in a circular motion until you feel like the pinky is going towards the direction of forward again. Once we get back down so the fingers are pointing towards our mat, we're going to go the opposite direction. Really slow with our movements. We're going to lead with the thumb going back behind us. The arm's going to slowly want to rotate around. That's perfect. Palm's going to come pointing towards our seat. As we rotate it, keep rotating till pinky is going to forward, thumb backwards, palm reaching outside. Now that you know where we're going, we'll flow with our breath, really trying to take our time, take our full inhale and exhale to flow. We'll inhale, pinky guides the hand forward as it rotates all the way around. Exhale as it makes its way back down. Thumb is rotating inward till it's going back behind us, pinky leading forward. And then same thing, the opposite direction. Thumb leads us back. Natural shoulder rotation until the pinky leads it forward. We'll do it one more time on this side. Pinky leads us forward. Slowly rotating the shoulder so the heart can open and expand as the thumb guides us backwards. Coming back to neutral. And then switching directions. Thumb leads us backwards. Rotating the shoulder until the pinky can spin its way forward. Palm reaches outside of our seat. Wonderful. When we're ready, bringing that hand back to neutral, resting maybe on our lap or on the thigh. Take a few shoulder rolls backwards, opening up our heart, finding a little bit of fluid motion. And taking a full breath here in through our nose. And sighing it out. This can be a little bit of a tricky motion. Maybe it's using your brain a little bit more than you felt like right now. But whatever those circles look like, just know you're finding an opening in your heart space and a rotation in your shoulder, which is so wonderful. Just to find that expansion and creating a little bit more space as we breathe in and just expand. So moving on to the left side, letting go of any expectations, not needing it to be perfect. We'll start with our pinky forward, thumb going towards the direction of the back of our mat, palm towards the outside of our seat. When you're ready, we'll lead with our pinky forward. Palm's going to naturally want to rotate inward, and then we just keep it going, keep it spinning till the thumb can reach around behind us. And we can bring the fingertips towards the mat, palm towards the outside of our seat, thumb pointing behind us. Switching direction, thumb leads us backwards. Finding that rotation as the palm spirals inward. Keeping it rotating till the pinky is forward, thumb going towards the direction of open. When you are ready, your own breath. Inhale, bring the pinky forward. Spiral the palm inward. Keep it spinning as we open up the shoulder. Palm meets down by our seat, and then the thumb leads us back around, opposite motion, like we're going to swim the arm forward as we rotate our palm. Last time.